Hello everyone, my name is Madhuri Shinde. Today's topic is related to program design tools of Unit 1, problem solving and Python programming. So, at the end of lecture, student will be able to make a use of program design tools. So, let's start with the today's topic with algorithm and flowchart. So actually, program design tools covers three main tools: algorithm, flowchart, and pseudocode. But right now, we are just going to see algorithm and flowchart. So let's start with the algorithm. So what is an algorithm? An algorithm consists of a set of explicit and unambiguous finite steps, which, when carried out for a given set of initial conditions and produces corresponding output and terminate in finite time. So what is exactly means it has a explicit unambiguous finite steps. That means whatever instructions you are going to mention in an algorithm, that should be clear enough, or there should not be any kind of confusion that what to perform. And you may set some initial conditions to particular variables. So might be by default some values will be set, and obviously that algorithm should terminate at certain point. So there should be a finite time, and after that it should be ended up. And obviously the output must be generated. That's why we are going to write some algorithm, right? So yes, definitely at least one output should be generated. So, it is defined as a sequence of instructions that, when executed in specified sequence, and desired results are obtained. So, let's have a look at what are the characteristics of the algorithm. Mainly, there are five characteristics of this algorithm. First one is nothing but input. So, input. So, in order to process something, you may require something, or you may require some data. So that input is nothing but data, and it may have, you may pass zero data or more than that. So yes, input can have zero or more inputs. Next is output. So yes, each algorithm must produce at least one output. Next, definiteness. So each algorithm should have definiteness. That means what? The instruction must be clear and unambiguous. Next is finiteness. So finiteness means after a certain time that algorithm should terminate at some point. So that is nothing but finiteness, means finite number of steps should be mentioned in that algorithm, and after that execution of all the steps, it should be ended up. Next is effectiveness. So each algorithm should have effectiveness. Means what? So every instruction must be sufficiently basic that it can be in a principle be carried out by any person using only single pen or paper. Means it should be very simple. So these are the characteristics of algorithm. So let's have a look at examples so it will be easier to get to know. So let's write some algorithm related to find out the addition of two numbers. As you know how to do an addition of two numbers, so it will be easier. So three important things you have to mention. First one is input, that means what data you're going to pass. Then second is what can be the expected output, and the third one is algorithm. Okay, so in this case the input will be two numbers. Let's have a variables, num1 will have some value, num2 will have some value, and after that process the addition of two numbers must be mentioned. Like for example, let's have a numbers value 2 and 5. That means it should be a 7, right? So that expected output should be mentioned. Now let's have a look at algorithm steps. So whenever you are going to start with the algorithm, there should be a starting point and ending point. That means first step will be start, and second will be, now obviously you must have to accept some values. So you may mention that accept first number and save as num1, or you may use input first number and say as variable name num1. Similarly, you will accept the second value. After that, a simple statement. What we are to do addition. So how the addition performs? So num1 plus num2, and whatever the result is generated, that should be stored in some variable name, say add variable. And yes, after the addition, user must get to know what the addition was takes place. So that should be printed. So in order to print that, you may use a word display add, or you may say print the addition of two numbers. Okay. And yes, after that there is no further process. I will end up here. So you may use stop keyword. Okay. So this is just a simple algorithmic way. That means you must mention input and then output and the number of steps. So you can easily guess these are nothing but a sequence of instructions and that are executed in that order only, right? So this is nothing but sequential algorithm. Okay. So what can be the advantages of algorithm then? So as you can see, it's a simple and it is independent of language. So yes, it is easy to understand as the steps are mentioned. Then it has a definite procedure, only that will be performed accordingly, whatever you have mentioned, and not dependent. Means you may not have any knowledge related to programming language. So without that knowledge, you can write easily that algorithm. So it's not depend on programming language. And yes, it becomes easy to debug, means as it is a logical sequential flow, so easily you can get to know at which instruction there can be a problem. So easy to detect, easy to debug and test the algorithm. So these were the advantages. Now let's move for next one, flowchart. Whenever you are starting for programming language, you must use this kind of design tools. Either you may use algorithm, means firstly write that algorithm and accordingly you convert that algorithm into the program, or similarly you may use a flowchart. So flowchart is just a representation or graphical representation of that algorithm. But how you are going to use that? Means you can easily see here, I have used some symbols here. So this is an oval shape symbol, but it is a starting terminal. And you can see this is an ending terminator. Okay. So same kind of symbol is used, oval shape. And for process, I have used here a rectangle. And for decision making or if else condition, if you want to choose from two, then you are going to use this decision symbol or diamond shaped symbol. And if you want to accept some value or display some value, you're going to use a parallelogram. So this is just with the help of these symbols, you're going to represent that algorithm. Again, the arrows are again an important thing. Huh? So arrow plays an important role in order to mention the flow of that all overall logic of the algorithm. Okay. So the sequence of steps in algorithm is maintained and represented in the flow chart by using such a kind of symbols, right? Like oval shape, rectangle, arrows, and anything. So as the flowchart uses pictorial representation of algorithm, it becomes easy to understand what exactly is going on. and it can show errors in a logic, and set of data can be easily tested using the flowchart. So in order to use this, special symbols are used that are constructed, and let's have a look at that symbols. So as I already told you, so oval shape is used for representing a starting and ending of the flowchart. Then parallelogram to accept some value from the user or to print some value to the user. Okay, so you're going to use parallelogram for this. Then rectangle for arithmetic operations or data manipulation, any kind of operations you can use. In short, processing of data. You may use assignment operator or increment, decrement, or you may use for initialization purpose. So all processing will be done with the help of this rectangle symbol. Next is diamond shaped, or you may see it as decision. So it used to represent the operation in which there can be a different types of alternatives, and you may use true or false conditions for that, or you may use yes or no. Okay, next is arrows. So just mentioning the how the logic is executing, a flow of logic, simple. Then circle is a on page connector, and you can see this is a off page connector. So what is the main use of this on page and off page connector? So consider I have drawn some flowchart here. Okay, is it okay up to this? But still, some part of the flowchart is remaining. But what you will do, what you will do in that case, because I have ended up here only, and in order to continue that, I may use another page, or I may use from this side. So in that case, you can use on page connector, off page connector. So on a same page, if you want to draw that flowchart or continue that flowchart, you may use on page connector, that is the circle. And if you want to continue on a different page, then you are going to use this kind of pentagon, that is off page connector. Okay, and the last one is nothing but this rectangle and two lines. That is nothing but a process, predefined process. Means it's already mentioned, and you are just going to use that, make a use of that. Okay, so it's like a function already available or process already available, and you may use it for processing further. So these are the flowchart symbols. Now let's have a look at example, actual drawing of the program flowchart. So yes, to same example we are going to see, that is to find the addition of two numbers. So when you are going to start and how you are going to start now, with the help of which symbol? That is nothing but oval shape. That is indicating it is a starting of flowchart. Next is what? We have to accept some values from the user. So in that case, I am going to use parallelogram. So I will write simple accept value of num1. Similarly, for accepting second value, same parallelogram with second value. And next step is what? We want to do addition of two numbers, num1 and num2. So it will be a whether same parallelogram or any other. So yes, it will be a rectangular, right? For processing, we are going to use rectangle. For accepting or displaying, we are going to use parallelogram. After that, everything is done. Now you have to print that value. So for that, parallelogram is used. And lastly, all process is completed. Now we have to end up. So I'm going to use simple stop word. Okay. And with the help of oval shaped. Simple. So this is nothing but simple flow of this algorithm, or you can see it is a flow of the flow chart. It's really simple, right? Now, what can be the advantages of flowchart? Communication, yes, it becomes easier to get to know the logic of the program. Effective analysis, easy to analyze the problem. Then efficient coding, so we can easily convert that flowchart into the program if we know the exact how and when to do. Then efficient program maintenance, it becomes easy to maintain that program. Proper debugging means able to find out the errors easily, and yes, maintenance is easier, and we can convert that flowchart into any kind of programming language. You may convert into to Python language or any other language, so it becomes easy. So what can be the disadvantage then? So disadvantage can be like, for example, like a program, if I have written a program in particular language, so that will be communicated with the computer very easily because there may not need any conversion. But in this case, I have drawn a flowchart, and in order to give that as an input, it won't perform very well. Okay, we need some conversion here. So it's not suitable if we are to communicate between human to computer. Next, alteration and modification. If by mistake, if we are drawn a different block, and you may want to draw another block. So this modification, it's not that easier in the case of flowchart as compared to algorithm. So it will be a wastage of time, and it may happen you have to redraw, or you have to newly draw that flowchart again because it may not that sufficient. Complex logic, yes, it will be very difficult to draw a flowchart for complex kind of programming and huge line of codes of programming. So yes, it becomes difficult for that case. Reproduction, as a flowchart cannot be typed, we are not able to type that charts or symbols, so it becomes a difficult in a case of programming point of view. Okay, so reproduction will not be that easier as compared to algorithm or as compared to a direct language, programming language. So these are the disadvantage of the flowchart. And cost, yes, for a large applications, it becomes time consuming process, and again, drawing a flowchart more on a pages, that will be a time wastage. Now, this is an example. We have to write an algorithm and flow chart for this statement. Like, we have to determine whether what student has got a grade, whether he is passed or he is failed. So that depends on, we will accept the values or we will accept the marks of 4 subject. Okay, so input will be what? Marks of 4 subject. Output will be grade, that is pass or fail. Okay, so steps of algorithm can be what? First will be the start, second will be the accepting the values, next will be what? Grade calculation. How you are going to calculate that grade? That grade equal to that all the mathematical addition or summation of this and divide by 4. So accordingly grade is calculated, right? Now the next case is, we have to check whether grade is lesser than 50 or not. If the grade is lesser than 50, that means he is failed, and if it is not, he is passed. So simple, that condition we have to check. So how you are going to write? If word, then your condition, that is grade is less than 50. If it is true, then what I will do? Printing of fail. And all else case, I will be printing a pass. So this is just a simple algorithm, right? Now how you are going to draw that flowchart? Really simple. Simple, like oval shaped symbol for starting and ending the flowchart. Then parallelogram for accepting the all the values. Then for procedure, you are just going to use a rectangle, that means addition of all the subjects marks divided by 4. that will be stored on a grade variable. Now we have to check whether grade is less than 50 or not. So decision or diamond shaped symbol is used. So if the value or a grade is lesser than 50, that means he is failed. So I'm going to print that with the help of parallelogram. That printing of fail is done. And else means it is not satisfying. On else case, that will be a pass. After that, there is no further any process. So we are going to stop here. Simple. So this was just a review of algorithm and flowchart. Still, we are going to see more examples, but the homework for you is you have to draw flowchart and write down the algorithm for this mentioned examples. Like it's really simple. Calculate the square and cube of number and calculate area, triangle and rectangle. Then you have to calculate which is the greatest from the three numbers. Okay. And next one is the number is even or odd. You are to print that, and how you are going to determine whether number is even and odd. So that will be a simple if else condition you are going to use. Similarly, just try for prime and not prime. Okay. And the last but not the least, it is a calculator. You have to design a calculator in a such a way that addition, subtraction, division and multiplication of numbers will be calculated. Okay, so you have to draw a flowchart for that and algorithm for that. So just think about it, what you have to write means what you have to use here, whether it will be a sequential form of algorithm or it will be a selection kind of algorithm. Okay, means if else you want to use or sequential. Okay, think about it and do this. So as we have seen the algorithm and flow chart, I hope you got all the concept related to our topic, today's topic. Still, if you have any queries, you can email me on mentioned email ID, that is mnshinde@kkwag.edu.in. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.